Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about cruises, and it's going to be about Norwegian Cruise Lines versus Carnival Cruise Line. Not really versus, but I kind of wanted to break down more of the differences between the two, because I know when a lot of people are looking to go on cruises and vacations, they don't know which cruise line to do. Now, I picked these two cruise lines because these are the only two cruise lines that I can actually, from experience, tell you about. But I've done 10 Carnival cruises and 5 Norwegian cruises, and I've gotten married on a Carnival cruise before. So I think I can, generally speaking, give you a good rundown of the two and what the differences are. But I figured this would be a helpful video to make for any of you guys who are planning on going on a cruise and don't know which cruise line to do, or even if you ever had an interest and wanted to know more about cruises, this video would be great for you as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and the notification bell down below. And without further ado, if you guys would like to find out more about Norwegian and Carnival cruises, then just keep watching. So I broke this down into different categories off the top of my head. Hopefully I'm thinking of every category that there is, and I just jotted them down on this paper. So the first category we can talk about is the disembarkation or debarkation process, which basically means it's when the ship is going to set sail. Usually you board the ship, depending on what port you're at, you board around, like, I don't know, anywhere from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. It just depends on when the ship's ready. And then around 3 o'clock, they sound the horns on either ship, and they call it a safety briefing. And it's actually by law, they have to do a safety briefing to prepare you in case of an emergency, fire, or anything like that. If you needed to evacuate and get on the lifeboats, you have a certain muster station, they call it, that you're assigned to and where you go on the ship. Now, Norwegian's is great and Carnival's is not so great. So we'll start with Carnival's first. So Carnival, what they do is you look, I think by your card, your key card that they give you, you look at what number your muster station is, and the staff will direct you where you need to go on the ship, but they line you up outside the ship, all the way around the ship, like on the balconies on the side. And it could either be really cold, because when I've left out of New York before in November, we've had to do it, or it can be you're in Puerto Rico and it's 95 degrees. So they line you up. It's a long process. They almost like line you up military style, and they count everybody by like just a clicker. And it takes so long, and you're just there waiting. And it can honestly take like anywhere from like, I don't even know, sometimes it's felt like 40 minutes. It's well over a half hour, and you're just sitting there and waiting for them to start the safety briefing, and it honestly sucks. I mean, obviously they have to do it, you need to be prepared, need to know what to do in case of an emergency. I understand that, but there is definitely a smoother, better process in handling it. And if I'm going on Carnival and I know I'm gonna have to do that, I like to have like 1 or 2 drinks before I'm gonna be sitting there doing nothing. I know that sounds bad, but so Norwegians, when we, because we had done a couple Carnivals before we did our first Norwegian, when we went on Norwegian, we're like, oh my goodness, their process is so much better. So basically you go to a different venue on the ship. It could be like the dining room, it could be, the stage, it could be like, a specialty dining restaurant, it could be anywhere on the ship. And you basically sit there and, well, first off, when you walk in, they have a list, and they just check you off by your name so they know that you're there, because everybody, it's mandatory, has to go to these safety briefings. Like, they make sure you're out of your room. Like, it's no joke, you guys. So on Norwegian, they just have a little board with your name. You just show them your card, your name, and you're good. And it literally takes, honestly, like maybe not even 10 minutes for everybody to sit down. And you're sitting down, you're not standing up, and they literally just walk through, they show you the life jacket and everything like that and what to use. And the whole process is like well under 20 minutes, like 15 minutes, not even. It's such a smoother process. But the next topic I wrote down, or category, is the gym and the saunas. So, and I just like literally thought of this like a half hour ago, and I'm like, I need to add this to the list. So both of Norwegian and Carnival, all their ships have gyms. Some are nicer than others, just depends on the age of the ship. I haven't been on a Carnival ship since I got married, which was like 2 years ago, but I'm pretty sure this is still the case because I've watched like updated videos. And we are going to be doing a Carnival cruise in a couple months again. But it's great because the sauna is included. Right, once you go through the locker room, the men's or the women's, it doesn't matter. There's a sauna. There might even be a steam room, but I just do the sauna, and it's included. It's not extra money. It's really relaxing, and I love it. So when I went on Norwegian's, they don't include it anymore. You actually have to pay money to use the sauna. It's like an upgraded, I think they call it spa, is it cloud spa? They call it some kind of spa. I can't really think of it off the top of my head, but it's not included. So, and you have to pay for it, of course, because everything, you know, everything costs money. So next I'm gonna get into the water and then the drink packages. And this is important for me and probably most of you guys because I'm a big water drinker. So years back, people were able to bring their own waters, and we did, and they stopped this policy, I think, a couple years ago. And I remember we were like waiting in line in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We had a 24 pack of water, and they're like, you can't bring that on. And we were like, what the fuck? We're like, no. But it was because people were sneaking alcohol on in the, you know, in the water bottles and whatever. So now you can purchase water packages, you know, prior to being on the ship or when you're on the ship. It doesn't really matter. We like to do it prior to. So there's definitely a big difference when it comes to Carnival versus Norwegian here. So for Carnival, it's great. Like I think it's, and I forgot to double check this, but I feel like they don't tell, I didn't double check it and I should have, but this is off the top of my head from what I remember. I believe they come, it's either a 12 or a 24 pack of water, but it's like $3.99. I want to say maybe, I think they were like 12 packs of water and they were like $3.99 a piece. So we ordered like 2 or 3 because again, like I said, me and my husband were really big water drinkers. So we're like, you know, that's almost even cheaper than if I was to go buy like a, you know, a pack of water somewhere else. But so it was relatively inexpensive, which was fine. So for Norwegian, it's like astronomical. And we still did it because we drink water and I didn't really want to drink the gross water in the buffet, no offense, but you know, you can taste the difference there. If you're in the main dining room, the water tastes a little bit better. So, but with Norwegian, I believe you get like the 32 ounces. They're the bigger bottles. They're not the 16 ounces. You get the 32 ounces. And I believe you get, and I'm sorry, I should have looked this up, but I believe you get 12 bottles and it's like $40. So it's just like, I don't even know. It's like so expensive. I don't even want to say it's like 12. I think it's like 6 maybe if I had to like guess. I don't exactly remember, but my point here is that the water is so much more expensive on Norwegian than it is on Carnival. So we're going on a Carnival cruise in a couple months, like I said, so I'm like looking forward to not like shelling out so much money on water. And then I remember the last Norwegian cruise we did, we already drank through all those big bottles of water because like I said, we drink a lot of water. And then we ended up buying another like 6 bottles. So we spent like 70, 80 bucks on water. It was stupid, but you know, what are you gonna do? So that's my next point. The water, there is definitely a big difference when it comes to buying water. Which leads me into the drink packages. Now, first off, I'll mention you can purchase what's included on generally Norwegian and Carnival. It's like the same. All the juices in the buffet and obviously their water or whatever, that's all included. But any kind of soda that you can get from the bar or even when you're in the main dining rooms, that's not included. So typically they call them soda passes. And I can't remember the last time I actually strictly bought a soda pass because I upgrade and I just do the actual drink package, like the liquor package, which includes it. Those are the same, but I figured I'd mention that anyways, just so you guys know the soda isn't included. You do have to like buy like a soda pass or whatever. But when it comes to like the alcohol, or we call the drink packages, it's actually like another huge difference, and it kind of upsets me because I wish Carnival would just jump on the bandwagon. And this is the reason why we haven't done Carnival. We haven't done Carnival since my wedding, and we've just been doing more Norwegian cruises because of this very reason, because Norwegian throws in the drink package almost as like, it's like an upgrade. I mean, it does cost something, but like, for example, for like a 5-day cruise or a 6-day cruise, the upgraded drink package, when I say drink, this is unlimited alcohol. Like there's no limit to how many mixed drinks or how many glasses of wine or anything you can have. With Norwegian, it's like, it amounts to like maybe a little over $100. So that's a steal, depending on how much you drink. And you know, I'm not even gonna get into that, but that's a steal. So for Carnival, it's way different. I think like it averages out like $50 a day. So for like a 5-6 day cruise, it'd be like $250 or even more. And so that's like a big difference, you know, to me and my husband. And lately we've, you know, we've kind of been doing Norwegian because it's like the drink package is like pretty much thrown in, and trust me, like, and we're not like, I'm not like an alcoholic or anything, you guys, but like when I go on vacation, I do like to drink, and having the drink package, I feel like, you know, you do drink more, but I'm on vacation, whatever. It is nice to just sit there and be like, you know, relaxing, sunbathing on the deck, and you just can order drinks or whatever. It's really nice, but you definitely get your money's worth with Norwegian. And then this is going to lead me to my next point with the service when it comes to the drinks. So there's different rules. Norwegian's is laid back when it comes to the drinks. Like my husband can go with his key card, go up to the bar and order a drink for me and, you know, for me and him. And I know they go by room, like it can't be one person that gets the drink package. Both people in per stateroom have to get a drink package. So, and that I believe is the policy for both Carnival and Norwegian. So in Norwegian, my husband can go up to the bar and he can order 2 drinks and it doesn't even matter. So he can order me a drink and it's fine, and there's no limit to it. Now Carnival, and I believe this probably hasn't changed, like I said, it's been like 2 years, so I'm not exactly sure. But with Carnival, I would have to go up every time. My husband cannot get a drink for me, and my husband cannot order 2 drinks at a time. It's so much, it's not as laid back as Norwegian, and that's why we love Norwegian's policy as well. Like my husband would have to go, I would have to go and order my own drink. And then they also limit you, I believe Carnival's drink package is 15, the limit is 15 drinks, which you know, I don't think I've ever gone over that, but still, like Norwegian's doesn't limit you and Carnival's does. Like if the max is 15 drinks, you cannot do more. And they also have a rule, if you want to go up and get a drink, I think you have to wait like at least 15 minutes or a half hour to get your next drink, whereas Norwegian, like they just don't care. So when it comes to, and depending on, you know, if you don't drink, you know, if you don't drink alcoholic beverages, this wouldn't really make a difference to you, but I figured I would mention that, especially if you're going on vacation and you want to have a few drinks. The drink package with Norwegian is definitely, and their policy is way better than Carnival's is. Okay, so now I'll get into like all the food options on the ship. I'm gonna start off with the buffets. So generally speaking, the buffets are about the same on Carnival and Norwegian. You're gonna have burgers and like the buffet, they'll have like a specialty each day, but it's like chicken or mashed potatoes or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of freaking food on these ships, you guys. Like, I'm not joking. My husband calls it eating like a king when he is on cruises, and he even like the week before we go on a cruise will practice like eating more. Like he loves cruises, he loves eating. I mean, it's, you know, any man's dream. But there's just so much food. But so for that aspect, like the buffet, there's not really much different. They're gonna have desserts and fruits and, you know, all different things that you can get, salad stations, all that. But there are some other differences that I did want to mention. So I believe for Carnival, because on the last couple Norwegians I have not seen, I don't think they have like a sandwich or a panini station on Norwegians, but on Carnival they do, and we love that. You know, we loved having that option. The only downfall is that line can get kind of long. And then next I want to mention, and this is like a huge, well, it's a huge difference, I'm not gonna lie, it's a huge difference. So Carnival's other food options when it comes to like considered like buffet or free stuff that's mostly offered like on, you know, around the pool area, is they have a Guy Fieri's burger joint. And if you don't know who Guy Fieri is, he is on the Food Network, and his food, like his burgers, like I'm not joking, those cheeseburgers, hamburgers, his burgers on Carnival's ship, like they're the best burgers I've ever had in my life. And I'm sure if any of you guys have had them before, you would agree with me. They are no joke. Like I remember my dad, like when he had them for the first time, because we had them like a little bit before he had, so we went on a cruise with him, and he like, I don't even know if he really did, but I think he tried like taking the burgers off and freezing them. They were so good. I don't know if this is true, you guys. My parents do wacky things. But yeah. They're that good. Like the burgers melt in your mouth. The only thing with that is that they open like certain times of day. So like I feel like they're open like 12 to 2, and then like from like 4 to like 5 or 3 to or 4 to 6. They have like weird hours. They're not open as long as the buffet. The lines can get kind of long, but they move pretty quickly, and the fries are delicious too. So the Guy Fieri's burger joint is awesome. And like just going on a cruise to experience that is like really, like I'm not kidding you guys, like it will not disappoint. So that's a main difference as opposed to Norwegian. They just have their regular grill out by the pool area where you can get burgers and fries. And I mean, and they're good, like don't get me wrong, but there's nothing like the Guy Fieri just blows it out of the water. So then on Carnival, they also have blue iguana, and basically if I could tell you what it's like Chipotle. Like you can make like wraps, burritos, whatever. And I can even like get, you know, because at Chipotle, I like to do the salad bowls. Like you can get all of that. So it's pretty much like Chipotle and it's really cool. Norwegian does not have anything like that on their ship. And I've been on like the Breakaway, which is relatively new, so they don't have anything like that. So in terms of those two, you know, the Blue Iguana and the Guy Fieri's burger joint, and even the panini station, I think Carnival definitely has more to offer there, and it's awesome. Norwegian doesn't really can't compete there in those categories. And then I also wanted to mention too, this is the next big difference. So for like 24-hour eating, I would say that Norwegian actually wins for this. So Norwegian has a 24-hour restaurant called O'Sheehan's, and they have like, you know, it's just a regular fixed menu, and it's 24 hours a day and you can go all the time. And I know this sounds bad, but you know, we'd be going at like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night to get some snacks, not gonna lie. And that's what's great about it. They have their buffalo or their barbecue buffalo wings. Oh my God, they're to die for. And you can go there during the day. You know, it's nice because it's just a 24-hour restaurant. So we would go like once every couple days and we'd hit it up at night, you know, if we were hungry and wanted a snack. Carnival's 24-hour eating, they have pizza 24 hours, which is great, but I mean, it's just pizza. So, but the good thing about that is that you can actually bring that back to your room, because there's times where I'm hungry and I don't want to like sit down and wait for the food to come to me. I'd rather just take the food back to my room. So it's like a catch-22, because when I'm on one ship, I'm like, oh, you know, I don't want this. But the other thing though, with Carnival, you're limited to just the pizza. You can bring it back to your room. It's not like you have to sit and wait for it to come to you, but the lines get so long, especially if you just come from a comedy show, like at like an 11 o'clock or a 10 o'clock comedy show, and you want to get a bite or a snack to eat. Like that line can be serious, you guys. Like I am not joking. Whereas if you were just to go to O'Sheehan's, there wouldn't be a line. So I mean, I guess it's just like personal preference. So now we will get into the main dining, and this is included in your cruise package. And it's like going out to a nice restaurant, and you do it every night and it's included, which is crazy and that's why I love cruises, you guys. And I think I've told you this before, but you get such a good bang for your buck when it comes to food. I wanted to mention, if you guys are going to do, you know, if you guys are going to do a cruise on either ship, you probably wouldn't know this if it was your first time, but they might assign you a time that you have to eat dinner every night, and you can change it. I forget what they call it, but we always are open. I think actually Norwegian changed it so they don't have assigned times, but Carnival still, some of the ship you'll have an assigned time. Like you have to go to dinner. Dinner is at 7 every night. And we always end up changing it with Carnival, and I'm not sure if they change it as well, but Norwegian calls it freestyle dining. So you can go at any time, and I'll know in a couple months if Carnival changed their policy or not, but we always get it changed to open seating where we can go at any time. So I just figured I would mention that. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the specialty dining. So first off, I will mention a few years back, and like even when we started doing cruises, Norwegian definitely had way more specialty dining options than Carnival did. Carnival always had the steakhouse, and then Norwegian had the steakhouse, but then they had a French restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and like a hibachi Japanese grill, whatever you want to call it, restaurant. That's generally speaking what they had. And I think over the years, because you know they are competition, Carnival on their newer ships and some of their 2.0 ships have been offering more options. I know a couple years ago when I did the Carnival Sunshine, they had an Italian restaurant on that ship, and then they had the steakhouse. But I think Norwegian still has more of a variety of the specialty dining. So both ships have steakhouses, and honestly, you guys, like, so for the specialty dining, I'm going to mention you are going to pay a fee that's not included. So you are paying extra. But for the steakhouse, I feel like it comes out to be, and I know they changed their pricing. It's not just a set amount of person. I don't know if Carnival changed that policy as well, but Norwegian did. But the prices aren't even that bad. Like you're paying like 20, like I think we didn't do an appetizer this time. We just did, or did we do an appetizer? Yeah, we did an appetizer, and then we did our steak, and it came out to be like 25 bucks a person. And the steaks at either steakhouse, you guys, like I get the fillets, and they are so, like they're so good. They're so good. And it's, if you were to go out to dinner and even for two and get like 2 fillets and appetizers and drinks, like it would be probably over $100. I mean, depending on what they charge for the fillet, and it's only like an extra 25, 30 bucks. So it's very reasonable. And then depending on what other specialty restaurant, like I know the Italian might be like 15 or 20, and like the French might be 15 or whatever. So there's just like other fees, but still it's relatively affordable. But I know Carnival's been upping their game and trying to have more options as well, but Norwegian does have a little bit more, so I figured I'd mention that. And lastly, this would be a tip too if I was gonna make that other video on what to expect for a cruise. If you guys are doing a cruise and you want to do the specialty dining, this is only up until like the last couple years we've had to do it, but you need to make reservations like beforehand, because we used to always like get on the ship and we'd make our reservations. If we wanted to do the steakhouse, we'd go, you know, right to the steakhouse during the day and we'd make reservations. By the time you get on the ship, even the first day, like they're all booked, And I honestly think that's because maybe they allowed people online to do it, and maybe a couple of years ago they didn't have that option. So if you want to do any kind of specialty dining, and you can always cancel it on the ship, so we'll go ahead of time, we log in, and we just you know, put our reservations down of what restaurants we want to eat. And we usually will do, just to be safe, like we'll do the steakhouse a couple nights, and then if we get sick of steak, we'll call and we'll cancel. It's better to be safe and book them ahead of time, because I'm telling you guys, when you get on the ship, like it's just, you can't get anything. So especially the steakhouse is like always packed, so book it before you go on the cruise. Log in and book the reservations online for the specialty dining. Now I wanted to get into entertainment, and like both have casinos, you know, there's not really much difference there. But in terms of like entertainment, like Carnival has awesome shows, you guys. It's almost like you're on Broadway. They have amazing shows, and for any of you guys who have been on a Carnival ship, you know what I'm talking about. And on Norwegian, I feel like maybe one night they'll have that, but they really don't have that. Like every night there's a show on Carnival, so that's a big difference. Carnival has better comedy shows, and their adult comedy, I know they do offer like family comedy around 8 o'clock if you check your little itinerary, but the adult comedy is like so popular, especially in Carnival. Their comedy club is called the Punchliner, and it's George Lopez actually heads it, and it's his name. And he apparently selects, you know, different comedians to go on all the different Carnival ships or whatever. But those shows are so popular, and if you are new to cruises or going to do one, I would suggest to get there like 20 to 30 minutes in advance, because we've made that mistake and now we know. The line starts like 15-20 minutes, because people know once that comedy club gets filled, you're done. And it's so popular on the ship, the adult comedy shows. So I would definitely recommend that. But in terms of like Carnival's comedy, it's really fun, you know, it's really good. Sometimes I feel like, you know, it can get like raunchy and inappropriate. It's adult comedy. There's swearing and everything like that. That's why there's no kids allowed, and they make that very clear. But they definitely have better comedy. Norwegian used to have it was called like the Second City, and it was like improv comedy, and I feel like they still do that. It might not be called the Second City, but they don't have like a comedian every night, and I don't think they do comedy every night on Norwegian, but it's just not the same. I remember watching like their improv comedy. I didn't even really think it was that funny. So for me personally, it's just personal preference, because you know, other people could like the Norwegian comedy, but I definitely, in my opinion, like the Punchliner comedy club on Carnival and their adult comedy. I definitely think it's, in my personal preference, a lot better than Norwegian's. Okay, so I think I covered every category. I might have skipped a couple, but if you guys have any questions, just leave them down below and I can answer them. I was just trying to kind of organize all my thoughts and not like try to bombard you guys with all this information and ramble on. I do love cruises, so that's why I figured I would make this video. Again, I can do more cruise related videos, like I can do, you know, how to prepare for a cruise. I remember I had to prepare one of my coworkers because she had never done one before, and I was like telling her, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, because we call, my family, we call ourselves cruiseaholics. Like, we know what we're doing. We're like professional cruisers. So I might do a video like that, and I can do, you know, whatever. If you guys are like these types of videos, let me know. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.